Test.
Okay, you can start whenever you are ready, and we will start the time when you begin the presentations.
Good morning from Team A. We are pleased to offer you a buy recommendation for OSP with a 12-month target price of 38.75 baht, representing a 15% upside. This derived from two methodologies, including free cash flow to firm and dividend discounted model. OSP is set to reap more for the forthcoming time to replace the intrinsic value beyond market appreciation. From first, internal strength is OSP in capturing the market. Second, the competitive edge from facility in Myanmar are ready to increase market share. And lastly, the cost leaning program that poises to boost margin to new height. Let's begin with a brief business overview. OSP principally works in four sectors, which is mainly focused on energy and functional beverage. For the rest, personal care and other revenue that comprise of confectionery, OEM, and supply chain management are shared a similar portion. Not only has OSP operated on a domestic level, but also exported to over 32 countries worldwide. OSP primarily focused on Thailand and the CLMV regions, where it performed as market leader in Thailand, Myanmar, and Laos, with a combined total portfolio income of over 95%. And Napat will now elaborate more for our investment thesis.
Favorable trend. OSP strength in capturing new market, propelled by its latest growth engine that yields the double-digit growth. We believe that there are much more to come under this domestic scene of OSP. We forecast OSP functional drink sales to expand by 12% CAGR for the next 5 years as catalyzed from COVID-19 and the trend of health and wellness in Thailand. Further supported by its 470,000 point of sale, 130 years of experience in fast-moving consumer goods, and the fully integrated supply chain that OSP operates, which we believe all are forming synergies that strike upon the success of OSP performance. As seen in all-time high market share of seaweed in the last year. For energy drink, we applied the 2.8% CAGR growth as contributed by the government mega project, which will highlight the need of the workforce and subsequently impose their demand on energy drink. We also observed the market premiumization, tailored to catch higher spending target, like the white collar and female worker, by adding in superior ingredients and revamping packaging. We regard this as the next potential wave of the market, and especially for OSP. In fact, it has already taken the lead and begun market goods for such a group. For example, Lipofine as a lady drink. With OSP core competencies, we believe that the future launches will be securely escorted to meet the eyes of the M Group.
There are OSP stretched out to international scales, especially in Myanmar, a country with high working age populations and high beverage consumptions compared with Cambodia and Laos, where OSP dominate 44% of market shares, with the great brand recognitions such as Shark and M150 among Burmese, in which cultivated by partnership with Loy Hing, the largest manufacturers and local distributor. Furthermore, being the only one among top 3 key players that established a facility in Myanmar will provide OSP a long-term competitive edge. We believe it will rise market share to 50% in 2026. As a result, we believe that the revenue of energy drink in Myanmar will continue to grow 16% CAGR over the forecast period.
And not only the top line is expected to prosper, but also the bottom line is likewise to be taken to new heights. Based on OSP beverage cost structure, it largely accounts for packaging material, which mainly composed of cullets and natural gas. We anticipate a modest decline in the commodity prices according to the future pricing, which will lower OSP producing costs. Top up with OSP series of cost leaning programs. With the latest project, Fast Forward 10X, we analyze the success to come from a historical track of early achieved cost-saving goal, proven company's ability to excel such a project. OSP new furnace will lessen the material required. Lowering the sugar content of OSP drinks would avoid the burden of increase in sugar prices and tariff. And OSP relationship with Nihon is projected to be essential in improving company efficiency through cutting-edge technology. As a result, we anticipate OSP gross margin to expand from 34% to 39% throughout the forecast period.
Our analysis defined the key drivers that drive the recommendation. We believe OSP revenue growth will be catalyzed by a double-digit growth in domestic functional drink and Myanmar energy drink. We forecasted a domestic revenue driven by the government mega projects, the new potential targets, and the health and well-being trend. While our international assumptions are reliant on the sectoring factory in Myanmar, as well as the association with the Loy Hain. As a result, we forecast a 7% CAGR increase in OSP revenue. We apply the change in cost contribution in respect to our implied decline in commodity prices, further adjusted by the fast-forward 10x. With the cost-saving program initiated, we believe OSP margins will be increased by 5% roughly in 2026, in comparison to when no cost-cutting program exists. Consequently, this defines a bottom line expansion of a 13.6% CAGR. Ladies and gentlemen, we finally arrived at a buy recommendation of the target price of a 38.75 baht, which represents a 15% upside. Our target price is based on the free cash flow to firm and dividend discount model, which allow us to account for both OSP future growth and its consistent dividend payout. Now, to confirm our valuation, we conduct a forward PE and EV multiples to compare OSP to its soft drink peers with a similar business model as well as the risk exposure. We discovered the undervalue signal from all selected multiples, so we believe OSP trades at a discount to its peers right now.
Now, there are several risks to concern. We focus on the most impactful risks. The price volatility is the nature of commodity price, which affect in discounting 9% from our target price. However, OSP mitigate these risks by optimizing their negotiation powers and minimize the impact by cost-saving program. The next is uncertainty coup in Myanmar, effect in economic downturn and currency depreciations. However, with the economic recovery was a top priority as government prepared for elections in August 2023 to launching over 400 action plans to accelerate job growth. We believe the energy drink consumption will continue to develop. And by having a facility in Myanmar, OSP can source the raw material locally to mitigate the currency fluctuations.
Yes, and to confirm our recommendation, we determine an ESG aspect of OSP to be decently contributable to its sustainability, where each of E, S, and G is mirrored in the business operation. Begin with the environmental aspect, this reflecting in the improvement in cost structure by reducing in greenhouse gas emission using in manufacturing, for example. Socially, this reflects the business operation into two dimensions, including of the enhancement in top-line growth by using a strategy of customer-centric when it comes to product development, and also the improvement in S&H management by reducing a turnover rate, by reducing the consistent review in their employee treatment. Governance, this reflecting the operational efficiency by having a strong team management and also the internal control effectiveness. Additionally, OSP is outperforming several ESG standards, including ESG 100 Index and a THSI Sustainable Stock. We believe that OSP Venture has prioritized sustainability, which has paved the way for its future success. We therefore reaffirm our buy recommendation based on OSP fundamental strength, a competitive edge from facility in Myanmar, and the initiative of cost-leaning program. For investor, we can further shot of energy and more than ready to be boosted. Thank you. And we will now take your question.
Can you go to your revenue slide or revenue growth slide?
So this looks like a slow growth company in the past, and you're forecasting a faster growth company. What is the risk to that growth? Because it seems like with this upside of just about 16% or so, if that doesn't come true, then it may not have that upside. So just help clarify what is the main driver of that growth. Like you mentioned premiumization, and you mentioned Myanmar, you mentioned a lot of things, but to me this seems like they got big market share, mature company with kind of steady growth. What is the main thing that's going to give us comfort that that growth is going to happen?
We would like to highlight from our analysis point of view that we believe the growth engine that has not yet been reflected in the past is the functional drink. As functional drink has been popularized of lately because due to the COVID-19 and the growing trend of health and wellness in Thailand, we believe with the OSP ready capacity, it will be able to capitalize on the perk of this trend, and
so that's good. Functional drink. Help walk me through like what's significantly different in the next year, you know, this year and next year compared to last year, just so I can understand that.
By having a establishment facility in Myanmar that we have just already finished in 2020, this will drive OSP future to be more prosperous, and due to the initiative of cost-saving program that has been just launched this year. This will help OSP and help us believe that there will be growth, prosper, and grow for a 7% CAGR.
Okay.
Hello. Okay. Hello. On Myanmar, can you quantify the downside risk, please?
I'm sorry?
Can you quantify the downside risk related to Myanmar?
In Myanmar, due to our assumption, we see that there are two severity risks and possibility that could happen in Myanmar, which is including of the currency risk and also the uncertainty of coup in Myanmar. And by doing that, we have been determined that the valuation impact of these two will impact our valuation for 5% roughly. Yeah. And that will cause our target price from 38.75% to 36.44% instead. Yeah.
Oh, hello. So what strikes me the most is the margin improvement. You forecast 400 bips improvement in gross profit margin, 500 in EBITDA margin. That is extraordinary. You have to walk through your assumption for me on that. Can you do that? Well, where is this 400, 500 bips of improvement coming from?
To answer your question, we would like to break down into two parts of the cost that contribute to the two margins. So the first one, we would like to elaborate on the cost of goods sold. We forecast that the cost of goods sold will improve significantly from the technology with Nihon will require less material used to produce the pot packaging, like the glass material for OSP, which is composed of the natural gas and the cullet. And also for the cullet part, OSP also has the plan to reuse their cullet in their production, so that will also significantly reduce the amount required on the cost of goods sold. And for the EBITDA margin that you concern, it will be as a result from OSP stepping into more digitalized company. So it will be requiring less manpower. And yes.
Right. So there's two parts in this assumption, right? The first one is within the control of the company, right? Which is basically the use of the newer production technology, reduce of the packaging cost, so on and so forth. The second part is about your assumptions about the commodity price, whether it's oil price, whether it's gas, whether, sugar price as well. So what if that doesn't happen? Is this still a buy? What if the sugar price stay at 18, 19 cents? What if the oil price stay at 80, 90, 100 US dollar per barrel? What will, so are you saying this is a bet on commodity price movement? If the commodity price doesn't come down, will this still be a buy?
We also conduct our scenario in case of this as well, but in our assumption, we have the tendency to believe that the commodity price, like the oil and natural gas, will come down due to it already make a new high in the recent years of the crisis. And we already, in our scenario analysis, we factored the oil price at the time when the subprime crisis happened. So it would have to require for this current situation to be as severe as the subprime to change our recommendation from buy to sell.
So let's just talk about energy prices just for a second. It's possible that energy prices could go up. You know, let's just say that oil could go up to 150 or 125. Just how sensitive is it? Is it more sensitive to energy prices, or is it more sensitive to sugar, as an example? Like, just help us to understand if oil prices really shot up. Like, for instance, here you're saying commodity price surge. What level of oil price or what level of increase in that surge are you talking about when you do your bear case? Just so we understand that. Roughly.
We see that the commodity price fluctuation is a more impact to our valuation, but due to the sugar price, it's not that quite big burden compared to the others. But the price, the massive cost for the beverage is mostly rely on the sugar tariff. So the sugar price is not significant. Yeah.
And go ahead.
I have a question about the management. They typically target double-digit top line and bottom line growth. Why are you assuming a different or a lower growth rate?
Could you repeat that again? I'm sorry.
Management normally guides top line, bottom line, double-digit growth, CAGR. Why are your assumptions differ from management?
To recap your question, you are wondering why our forecast may seem a little different than what management should enhance in the margin, like for the top line and also the bottom line.
Management guides publicly that they would target double-digit top line and bottom line growth. Why are you different?
We believe that due to the current market condition may not be that effective and might not be, the OSP might not be able to respond or maybe might not be able to acquire that much top line and both bottom line as well. And also the current market condition due to the war, that is might impact the commodity prices that more fluctuated than that. So the aim of the cost saving project that wanted to offset this fluctuation may not that be significant to the company.
Is shifting to the premium product, is that a major impact on revenue, or is it a major impact on margin? Or is it a small thing that will happen over the long term, just so I understand that?
As for our energy drink, we believe that the new potential market would be more of a long-term growth opportunity for OSP, which would uplift its margin enhancement in the product.
Okay, thank you.
The time stop. Thank you.
Thank you.